Hello all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska and today we will talk about video games as a part of culture and especially important part of Polish culture. With us in the studio is Jakub Kądzielski, I would say a video game player.
Oh yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And let's talk about something which is called The War of Mine, which is a survival video game, and it became also a the element in high school as a additional obligatory book to read. What is it all about, and how it also shows the video games, the world of video games develop?
So it has been entered into this War of Mine has entered in the curriculum as an additional reading, and it is a great breakthrough because it is our admission that computer games are a valid element of our culture, and alongside of many great texts that we have deemed, obligatory for young people to read with their education, we have placed this game, but also with it games in general, next to it. So first of all, I think it's a sign of a great new movement in Polish education. And the game, This War of Mine by 11-bit Studios, it depicts the warfare through the eyes of a civilian character. So you're not a great soldier, you're not, unflinching fighter. You are just, a common person trying to survive and often having to make very, very difficult choices. I mean, you could share what little you have with others, but then you don't know if you're going to survive. And this is exactly the magic of it being a computer game, because it is you who's making that choices, and suddenly you have to find your own way in a world of war.
So what, in your opinion, video games teach us which books don't? And also, do you think this trend will continue, that the video games will be appreciated as a part of curriculum?
I hope so. It would be wonderful. I think it will continue because of the influence that the games have in our lives, because they are very, prevalent right now. We have they're on our phones, on consoles, at homes. They have a new way of telling stories, because not only do you know the stories through a more personal perspective rather than reading a book. Like I said, when you are making certain choices in a video game, you truly much more have this feeling of there being your own choices. But also, computer games can create this universe much more, I think, than a singular book can. Partly because of the multitude of choices that you can make. Plenty of games present us with, 2, 5, 4, 10 different endings to one production. So depending on your choices, you can see different outcomes. And this is this element where you, as a viewer, are creating a story also.
And a Polish game industry developed very quickly. They hire more and more people every year. It also becomes a sort of phenomenon. Why do you think it is like this? And can the Polish part of the entertainment industry, become really something important in the world?
So the Polish the game dev industry is huge, and it's become, like you said, a worldwide phenomenon, because essentially from the 90s, from people who right now run the biggest companies. In the 90s, they were selling bootleg video games in improvised fairs at public schools. So it's skyrocketed. Over the span of 30 years, we are creating productions which reach people all over the world. So this is a huge phenomenon, and I think this is our great national treasure, which we have to keep taking care of. Like you said, it attracts more and more people. We don't really have our Polish Hollywood, but we do have our little game dev Hollywood. And if you want to create great stories, if you want to act, if you want to write, if you want to create, you can do this exactly through video games. And so I believe their influence over Polish culture, world culture, over Polish economy as well, because it is a great way to earn a living, you know, create a story, to make something creative, while at the same time, you know, making sure that earning a steady payment, let's say. So I think this is something very attractive, especially to young Polish people.
Paradoxically, as a part of culture, video games right now are one of the richest and also the most popular part of the Polish culture, which is appreciated all over the world, and hopefully it will be even more appreciated here in Poland as well, especially in schools. So we very strongly recommend all of you to be interested in Polish video games, to play them, and also to recommend them to other gamers and players, because it is a wonderful treasure which we actually as Poles are very good at. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.